we've been seeing some crazy things from Naoya, just absolutely nuts, which honestly is kind of cool to see because everyone didn't like the fact that he had died so early during the perfect preparation arc because it felt like his character arc hadn't finished and he had more to give. And thankfully, of course, GEGE did deliver and he did bring him back during the culling game in a very cool way. And also, shout out to all the special grade and honored one members of the channel. You guys make these videos possible. Now, of course, it's no secret that I really don't like Naoya as a character. Obviously, I'm not saying he's not a good character. He's actually a pretty good character in terms of writing. I just personally don't like him, understandably so. But it's been pretty interesting to see his transition from being a sorcerer into a cursed spirit, because this is the first time we've actually gotten to see it live and just see such a powerful cursed spirit be born from this. And I guess it does make you wonder just how powerful the 3 big vengeful spirits are, because all 3 of these vengeful spirits were once human sorcerers who had transcended into curses, and who knows how powerful they were because all 3 of them were head of their clans. And this was also not during the modern era. Who knows just how long ago this was. I think it is likely that this was during the Heian era, the golden age of Jujutsu Kaisen, at the very least close to that time period. So these 3 head of the clans were insanely powerful sorcerers to begin with, and then of course they became powerful curses. So seeing how now he just went from a normal grade 1 or supreme grade 1, which of course is just a title, which really just means he's a grade 1, but still clearly he's far stronger than the average grade 1, as he was the head of the Hei unit, which already had many notable and powerful grade 1 members in it, and he was the leader of that. So clearly he's above average. He's on that high tier grade 1, and just from becoming a cursed spirit he became this powerful. So it does make you wonder, if someone like Yuta or Gojo were to have become cursed spirits, just how powerful would they become? Or perhaps if they transcend like Sukuna and Tengen did, where I've spoken about this in many videos before. Obviously it's unclear if Sukuna is a curse, and I'm not about to spend 5 minutes talking about it, but pretty much my theory is I don't think he's a curse. I also don't think he's a human. He's just something that's mixed in between, exactly the same as Tengen is. So in case you didn't know, in Tengen's own words, he's a mix of a human and a curse. Though Tengen does lean more towards being a curse, so that's why he's actually susceptible to cursed spirit manipulation. I think it's the same case with Sukuna. However, if you think he leans maybe more towards human or maybe more towards curse, that's up to you. I just think he's an evolved human, which is exactly what Tengen is. And Tengen's theory, keep in mind, maybe this isn't what Kenjaku wants to do. His theory is that Tengen thinks that Kenjaku wants to basically evolve all humans in Japan, which would make them Sukuna level threats. The point being, now he's strong as fuck, okay? And it's just been very interesting to see just how he keeps progressing, because he has all of these transformations. So as of the time I am recording this, Naoya just used his domain expansion and then the chapter ended there. I am aware that as this video is out, the next chapter will have been out, so you guys know what his domain expansion is, and you'll also know what the idea is with Naoya being a human again. Well, maybe not exactly a human, but it's his human form coming out of his cursed form. I have no clue what's going on there. Clearly it's another transformation, and this domain is going to be absolutely awesome and beastly. But regardless, this isn't a scaling video on what his domain is going to be, or even power scaling Naoya himself. It's more about his potential of how he just became so powerful and just where his limits lie, and also what this means for other characters, because what we've seen from Naoya is pretty incredible. He went from someone who got coasted and no diff. Well, I don't want to say no diffed, it was a low diff. He got low diffed by a Maki who had mental barriers. So this was a Maki who was only physically strong, and she still had many mental barriers. And not only that, this was a Maki who was mortally wounded and had just fought several grade 1 level sorcerers at the same time, and was also bleeding out heavily from the mortal wound that I just mentioned before. And even with all that, she still low diffed him, which is pretty disgusting. So then now he goes from being this weak to just instantly becoming insanely powerful in his cursed wound form. And then of course he has his God of Death, well that's what I like to call it, kind of like a God of Death Grim Reaper transformation, which was just insanely powerful, to the point that Maki did need another mental amp. Keep in mind, she didn't get stronger physically, she got stronger mentally, which, like I've said in so many power scaling videos, but people just really can't grasp this concept for some reason, which is understandable for new people to power scaling or people who haven't power scaled that much. But like I've always said, your mental state is just as important as your physical one, and this is literally proving that what I'm saying is 100% correct and fact. So even though a lot of people actually disagreed with me, here we go, I'm right. So if you want some examples, it's kind of like Akainu from One Piece, where yes, the man is very strong to begin with, but his mentality just takes him on another level. Or it's kind of like fairy tale characters, where they get mental amps, I guess power friendship amps, right? Or even Naruto literally has this in its data books, where there's kind of like this Will of Fire amp for Konoha Shinobi, where if they're fighting to protect something, they actually get a mental amp that literally makes them stronger physically. Does that sound familiar? Almost sounds like it's something that's going on with Maki, because I've always said she's never weaker than Toji, that they are physically the same strength. And of course, that hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is a mental state. And of course, your mental state really dictates on how powerful you are. And this is something I always mention about Yuta too. One thing I'll say is Yuta isn't soft per se, though he has a very sweet and kind personality. Yuta does possess an ego, as he was saying that he would get all 400 points by himself and he would beat Kenjaku by himself. He doesn't need anyone else's help because everyone's tired. So yes, Yuta does possess an ego and he was confident that he would win, but there are limits to Yuta's mentality. And I know a lot of Yuta fans don't want to hear that, but we know this is true, as the author has literally said this, as Ryu Shigori and Uro both both said Yuta's own humanity holding him back is what's not allowing him to become as strong as he could be. And we also see a picture of Sukuna, a natural calamity, as I think Udo actually says, implying that Yuta just needs to let it all go, transcend, transform, and just become an ascended human and all that. But of course, Yuta doesn't want to do that. He wants to keep his humanity, and he isn't that power hungry. And I know this is very weird. Well, I guess if you're a viewer of this channel, and you know, classic Kyle Breeze hating on Yuta, fitting into the video. Well, I promise this actually does link back to Naoya, because this is what Naoya doesn't lack. Naoya does not give a crap about abandoning all of his humanity, all of his morals, just for his ego, his pride, his jealousy, just for his own desires and for his own anger and rage. As it's been said by many characters, especially Noritoshi, where Naoya has an insane level of ego as a human being, to the point that even after he transcended to a curse, he actually kept that damn ego. And he's also someone who's willing to just throw it all away and become a cursed spirit just for the sake of his desires, his selfishness, ruthlessness, all of these things. Because again, Naoya's mindset, key thing, mindset is the thing that's amping him right now. His mindset of just being like a Toji fanboy, like I need to stand with him, and how he just really doesn't want to lose to Maki and all these crazy things. It's mentally, keep in mind, mentally amping him. Though of course in his case, because he's a cursed spirit, this does translate into clean physical transformation. And of course, mental amps really boost your power. And in the case of Naoya, because he's a cursed spirit, it just means more transformations and domain expansion. But that's the thing that I'm trying to say. And also this whole point of Yuta not letting go of his humanity does also tie back to Maki as well. Maki needed to let something else go. It wasn't her humanity, but she just needed to let go of other things. And once she let those things go and she was free, in her own words, she was mentally amped. And again, this is no slight to Yuta, he's just a great example to bring up, because it was literally said in the story by the narrator, by Uro and by Ryu, that this is something that's going on with Yuta. And if he wants to become the strongest or stronger, he needs to let go of all of these restrictions on his mind. I actually made a video on how I think Yuta's gonna get way stronger. I think the video was called Why Yuta's Forever Weaker Than Gojo. I think that was the one, I can't really tell, which I know has a negative title, but in the video I actually do talk a lot about how Yuta could be super powerful in the future. But yeah, this all goes back to Naoya, and this also again ties back to Mahito, because Mahito's mental state was what was amping him so much time and time again. Because remember with Jogo and Sukuna, Sukuna literally says it was your mindset and mentality that was not letting you transcend. It was holding you back so much, because Sukuna said if you guys had just acted like curses and rampaged and not cared about everything, you would have become way stronger, you would have actually fulfilled your desires. This is why Mahito was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Obviously it's because he's a new cursed spirit, so he has a lot of room to grow, but it also is because of his mindset, how he didn't give a crap about anything. He let everything go and he was just trying to get stronger and stronger, because he truly believed he was right. And even if he wasn't right, he just didn't care. He just did what he wanted to do. And that was why Mahito was getting stronger, because it's the mental amps that translate into stronger physical amps. Or even if it's not physical amps, it just makes you stronger in general, by cursed energy, by your cursed techniques, by evolution, in many ways. And again, this is why Naoya is just such a beast right now, because he has nothing holding him back mentally. And obviously this is translating into all of these massive power-ups and amps. It's really interesting to see, and it makes you wonder, does Naoya have more potential than Mahito? Because he has gotten far stronger than Mahito did in a shorter amount of time is the key thing. Because he had evolved many times in one fight. I mean, think about it. Mahito needed one fight for domain expansion, another fight for a transformation, another fight for this and that. Whereas Naoya, not only was he a cursed to begin with, he then transforms, and then he transforms again, and he gets domain expansion again, all in the span of a fight. Because it really does seem, again, I know I've been saying this a lot, but it's because it's true, and for some reason, people just fail to understand this simple concept in shonen battle series, or I guess in battle series as a whole actually. It's that mental amps really matter in these cases, because Naoya and his ego and his jealousy and his pride is just shooting him up to new soaring heights, to the point I don't even think Mahito had such an ego. I'm gonna be honest. If you had put Naoya in the situation where Mahito was, where he was running, I guarantee you Naoya would have fought until the very end, until he died. And now again, I could be wrong about this. We could find out in like 2 or 3 chapters when Naoya's beaten, he's crawling away. Maybe I could be wrong, but the point is, I do still think Naoya's ego, his desire to get stronger, and his hatred, jealousy, rage, pride, all of that is just way higher than Mahito. And that's translating to him having more potential per se, because his rate of growth far exceeds Mahito's right now, because he has gotten so much stronger in like 4 or 5 power-ups in the span of like less than 10 minutes or something. And keep in mind, he is fresh and new as a cursed spirit. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I really don't like Naoya as a character, but I do understand Naoya is a very good written character, because the thing is, yes, Naoya is a scumbag, he is a sexist, horrible person, and just a big asshole. But what I do like and respect about JJK is that it is realistic, not only in its fighting aspects, but also in the characters that it introduces. Because unfortunately, garbage people like Naoya do exist in the real world. And I like that JJK doesn't hide that fact. It does add that, yes, there are garbage people in the JJK world too. And I mean truly garbage people, not the shonen where, oh, I'm trying to take over the world, or I'm like a bad guy shonen. Like an actual, just horrible human being. And not only do they exist, they're in high positions of power, they're strong, and and all of that thing. So yes, it is pretty cool because it makes JJK feel a lot more realistic, doesn't it? But yeah, I can't wait for Maki to just clap this man. And again, I'm pre-recording this probably like a week in advance because I'm traveling not once, not twice, but 3 times all within the span of a week, because I'm traveling countries and then I'm traveling cities twice. And I'm also going to be, for this entire week, I'm not actually going to be able to record. I'm probably barely edit as well. So that's why I'm recording a lot of videos in advance actually, because I would have loved to upload this video just as the current chapter came out where he activates his domain expansion, because it's a great time. And it would suck if we learn more about Naoya's potential, some crazy things with the next chapter as this video drops and I can't talk about it. But hey, if there were some really cool potential feats or something from Naoya, we see some really cool things in the new chapter as this video's out, let me know and I'd love to discuss that in the comments below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do be sure to subscribe. I have a ton of JJK content just like this on the channel, a ton of theories, what ifs, character discussion, versus battles, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you like JJK, do consider subscribing. And if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like the video too, as of course if you liked it, that'd be much appreciated. And if you did subscribe, you're a member of the Higuruma fan club. Yeah, Higuruma fan club. Where you guys at? Where you guys at? And of course, thank you to all the members of the channel. You guys make these videos possible, so thank you. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you guys are in the world, and I wish you guys a lot of luck. Take care and goodbye. Peace.